Hello, FlossTube. This is Heather, the 20-minute stitcher, coming at you with episode 46 of my little corner of the internet where I talk about cross stitch. So if you are new here, welcome so very much. I hope that you will enjoy what you see, that you will want to be a recurring member of my little community here on FlossTube. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you are one of my returning friends, you already know I love you, but I'll say it again. Love you. Thanks for always clicking play, or maybe not always, but coming back and watching, checking in periodically, and being part of my little corner of the internet. I actually have quite a lot today, and a good mix of things too. So let's just kind of jump right into things. I have a little bit of everything today. No FFOs, but I do have what I'm lovingly calling an AFO, an almost FFO. I need your opinion on something though. So other than that, a little bit of everything, some life update, a finish, a new start. Actually, no, not a finish. Sorry, the AFO, the almost fully finished object, a couple of new starts, some whips, some acquisitions, a giveaway, and then my plans. So lots to get through. I try to keep my videos short, so I guess I better get going, right? So first, I want to take a moment to say thank you. I know if you watched my last episode all the way through, I did talk a little bit about some life happenings that had been going on. In a nutshell, if you didn't watch the end of my last video, or if you're new here, my mother-in-law passed away. I guess technically ex-mother-in-law, but her son is really the only ex I consider in that family. Her daughter, her husband, we all, well, his parents at least, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, I feel like got closer to after divorcing their whatever of a son. This is not the place for that, but she passed away, and she had passed away the day before, or 2 days before I filmed my last video. So in this intervening time, we had her funeral, and it was just an odd situation, being the ex, right? Not legally being part of the family anymore, but obviously her still being someone who was very important to me. So many of you had some very kind comments on that last video view. Many of you commented being in the very same situation as me, which I certainly never thought that my situation was unique, but it definitely, thank you to those of you who reached out and said that you understood what I was going through, because it was definitely a very weird, weird might not be the right term, just awkward. And awkward's not even right. I don't know. It was just, it added an extra layer of hard, I guess maybe is the way to put it. So thank you very much for your very kind words, for holding my children in your hearts and prayers, and my ex and his family. I don't like him. He did some pretty awful things to me, but, you know, basic human decency, obviously anyone who loses their mother, they're going through a terrible time. So thank you. All right, enough. Let's move on before I get all like emotional again. Okay. Also apologize for, well, I don't apologize. I usually try to make myself look a little prettier for my videos, but I have Pilates class in a little bit. So put a little bit of makeup on, but you know, I don't need mascara running all down my face during Pilates class. So, okay. But I am wearing like one of my favorite shirts. I think this shirt is so cute. Anyway, okay. Let's get into other things. So, that was really kind of the biggest life update in the last couple of weeks. It was just a lot of time taken up with calling hours, the funeral, children managing their emotions. My daughter's handling it pretty well. My son is up and down. So we are, I'm actually working this afternoon on putting together sort of a special little thing for him. He asked for and was given a necklace that his grandmother wore a lot, and he wants it framed to hang in his room. So I'm going to be working on that this afternoon. So maybe I'll show that in my next video if people are interested. In my last video, I also, in terms of updates, I'm going to have a fangirl moment here. So actually 2 videos ago, I introduced that I was thinking about starting kind of a finish your whips challenge for the end of the year. And I mentioned that there were a couple other finish your whip challenges going around the interwebs, right, on Instagram and FlossTube. Michelle Bendy's Whip Down Sal and Marjorie Maid's Pick a Whip. And in my last video, I announced my Whip to Finish Challenge, Sal, and invited you to fill out a form if you wanted to participate. Not because I'm going to be policing, but I thought I would add a little incentivization. If we reach our goals for the number of whips we want to finish by the end of 2023, I will hand make you a little trinket as reward and congratulations and celebration for you reaching your goal. So that form is still open, but newsflash, newsflash, we're going to retire, even though it didn't even get off its feet. The Whip to Finishes challenge, because Michelle Bendy reached out to me and said, hey, why don't you just co-sponsor, co-host my Whip Down Sal hashtag? Yes, please. Because Michelle Bendy's amazing. I love her channel. I love everything about her. And so yay. I'm super excited. Thank you, Michelle, for your kind invitation. So we're just going to use the hashtag #WhipDownSal, get some more attention for those wonky Instagram algorithms. Still feel free, if this is your first video or if you meant to do it in the last one and forgot to, if you still want a little trinket from me, in January, if you meet your goal, feel free. I will link the form again. The form is literally just asking for your name and the number of projects you're wanting to finish by the end of 2023. That's it. You don't have to tell me what they are. Like I said, this is all honor system. This is all good, enabling and supporting each other to finish our projects. So hashtag #WhipDownSal. I will link the form in the bottom or in the drop down if you want to get a little trinket from me if you reach your goals. And I get to co-host something with Michelle Bendy. Okay. All right. Enough talking. Let's get into stitching. So the first thing I have for you is my almost FFO. So you will recall, if you watched my last video, I shared my finish of Stitchrovia's Grow Through What You Go Through. And I have it cut down. I have it ready to mount. I was out of my... sometimes I lace, sometimes I just tacky glue. This I'm just going to tacky glue, but I was out of my tacky glue. I actually don't think I ever had any. I think I borrowed my mom's. So I bought my own. I'm going to pick it up this morning when Michael's opens. But I am finishing it in this super cute, like, mini shadow box frame that I got at Michael's months and months ago. I got like 2 of this size and 2 rectangular ones. They were in the dollar bin. But what I need opinion on is, should I keep it just the natural wood or should I paint it? I have lots of acrylic paints from when my mom used to do a lot of wood painting and things like that. Would it look better with the wood painted? And if so, what color would you suggest? A white, a pale lavender, maybe a pale pink, since that's like the only place where pink appears in the pattern? What are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments below whether I should leave the natural wood or paint it, and if I should paint it, what color? Or should I stain it? My dad has lots of wood stains. I could just do a nice light wood stain perhaps. Choices. This is one of the reasons why I am not very good at FFOing my projects, because it's too many choices, too many decisions to make. So I would appreciate and love for your opinions to be shared in the comments below. And hopefully by my next video, that will be fully finished. And I will be able to share that. I also am working on, I'm kind of getting frustrated, not frustrated, that's not the right word. I've put a lot of time and energy in finishing projects, and most of them are just in a box, waiting to have something else done with them. So I also am kind of, I don't know how many challenges I can give myself in a year, but I want to be more consistent about fully finishing items. My problem is my time is so limited that when I do get downtime, I like to actually stitch, which means then I end up with a box with like 15 finished items in them and I don't FFO anything. So I'm going to try and be like, okay, Heather, like sit down and just fully finish one thing, right? You don't have to like spend all weekend. So anyway, I'm rambling. Hopefully my next video, I will have that and maybe one other. I have a couple other items that like I know what I want to do with them. I need to iron some interfacing on the back and I just kind of need to make it happen. So hopefully more FFOs coming soon. All right, let's get into some actual stitching. God, y'all being so patient with me today. So I have 2 new starts. I have progress on 2 whips. So I have 4 projects to show you today in terms of my stitching. So I'm going to start with the whips. The first whip, and I apologize if you're wearing headphones and the zippers bother you. I forgot to unzip everything before I started filming. So my first whip, which you saw last week, is Pumpkin Kisses by Primrose Cottage Stitches. So this was my number 13 July whip go call. My goal was just to start it. So, I mean, I achieved my goal the first day I started working on it. But then I also continued to work on this because it fit the prompt for Marjorie Maid's most recent Pick-a-Whip call, which was a project with words. Plus, it's nice and easy to travel with. So I actually took this to work, stitched on it during lunch a couple of days. Floss just went everywhere. And y'all, I'm almost done with this, which is good because it's on my list of whips to finish because it is so simple and small. But here is my progress. So I always say I'm going to be better about taking pictures of my projects after I film so I can show you my, like, here's where it was the last time you saw it. But I'm just apparently a big liar. So I always forget to take the pictures. But the last time you saw this, I had the acorns done, this little bit of corn, pumpkin, and the sunflower. So since that time, I have added the word kisses and wishes. I have stitched all 3 of the pumpkins, or at least the bodies of the pumpkins. They still need, 2 of them still need their stems. But this is almost done. There's just the stems and the vine on the pumpkin, the rest of the corn stalk and the ears of corn. There are a couple little leaves, I think like 1 here and 1 or 2 here, and then harvest at the top, and this is done. I'm stitching this in hand using the sewing method, which is making it go even faster, which is really nice. I really like when projects are designed in a way that I can do that. So that is Pumpkin Kisses by Primrose Cottage Stitches. This is being stitched with all the called for DMC, 2 strands over 2 on a 28 count. Let's see if I wrote down the name of the fabric. No, of course I didn't, because that would be too organized of me. It's a 28 count witch alt linen that was in my mom's stash for a bunch of years. The bag had the label on it. I apparently threw out the bag because I don't think. But that's Pumpkin Kisses. So I started that on July 1st. I imagine I'll probably get that finished in the next week or 2. My next whip that I worked on was my Magic Kingdom stitch along. So again, if you are a returning viewer and you watched my last video, I'll put a picture of it up here, the finished project. This is my oldest whip. I started it in January of 2021. January 6th of 2021 is what I have written here. And then didn't touch it for forever and ever. But as you can see from the finished project, when it's done, it's going to be gorgeous. And so I have set myself a goal of stitching one, basically kind of getting back to, it was a monthly release stitch along back in 2021. So July through the end of the year, I'm going to challenge myself to finish 1 month a month, which I don't think that will have me finishing it by the end of the year. I think I'll have 1 month left, but I'll finish it in January or February if I can stay on this schedule. So I'm still working on finishing July's. As I said, today is July 30th, so hopefully I'll finish it today. So it's still in the hoop, but I am working on Beauty and the Beast, and I am almost done. So the last time you saw this, I had the rose done over here and maybe a little bit of like the columns, but I don't think so. I think I only had the rose done the last time you saw it. So I have added, I think this is like a little bud. I don't know. At first I thought that it was the beast holding something in his hand, but it's the same colors as the rose. So I think it might be like, oh, it's a petal falling. Oh my God. I'm slow. It's a petal falling because he's still the beast. He's not the prince again yet, and the rose is slowly dying. Let's remember the story, Heather. So that's a petal falling off the rose. But since that time, I have added all the rest of this here. So everything over here I have added. So I don't have much left. I have the inside of his jacket here. I have the rest of Belle's dress and her face. And then just the rest of the background of the ballroom. And Beauty and the Beast will be done. So skipping ahead to plans a little bit, the next block is over here, and it's Princess and the Frog. So that will be my goal for August, is to finish Princess and the Frog. So a little sneak preview of my plans. So there it goes. Alrighty. So those are my 2 whips that I worked on in the last 2 weeks. I also had 2 new starts. So the first start is a retreat pre-stitch that I started on July 20th, the same day the box arrived, which I meant to get the box out and show you as part of my acquisitions. But I am attending with my mom, Chantel 141's pep rally in September up in Michigan. I forget the name, Williams. It's like 45 minutes east of Lansing, Michigan. And Hands-On Design, Kathy Haberman of Hands-On Design is the guest designer for this retreat, or the co-sponsor of this retreat. And this is not a secret pre-stitch. Chantel did tell us that we are free to share this out on the interwebs. So this is my pre-stitch pattern. It's called 4 Seasons Folk Autumn. And these kind of larger gaps here are actually, there are specialty stitches. There's something that's getting released to us at the retreat itself. But all the rest of this we need to pre-stitch before we go to the retreat. So I was all gung-ho on this like the day and the day after it arrived, and I haven't really touched it since then because I've been working on my Magic Kingdom sale. But this will obviously be my big focus piece in August because I have to have it finished. The retreat is September 8th through the 10th. So August, like by Labor Day, basically, I need to have this stitched. And I am just obviously stitching it with the kit. So the kit, the retreat kit itself, if you know Chantel at all, I mean, she does these amazing like wood projects to complement your stitching and things. So it came with the linen, it came with the DMC flosses, which, come on, look at these flosses. This palette is stunning. It came with this very cool little floss board. I have no idea what I'll use it for after this. I'll probably have to put stickers or something because it's too beautiful not to keep using, but it obviously is already, personalized with the colors for this specific project. And then it came with, I don't know if we're finishing it on the box, but it came with the pieces for like a hinged box for us to bring to the retreat and do something with. So these are the colors for 4 Seasons Folk Autumn. And here is what I have gotten to so far. I have done just the top motif. So she encouraged us to start. Sorry, I didn't iron it. You know I never iron my projects. And I apologize for the lighting. It's not a ring light, but my light that I usually use when I film, the battery's dead, and I didn't want to delay my filming to charge it. So I'm doing the best I can. This linen is kind of dark. The fabric, the floss in some places gets a little lost. I'm just trusting the process here. I'm trusting the designer that it all works out the way it will. But that is where I have gotten to so far. So just the top motif and then starting on the pennies underneath it, or the flowers, whatever those are. All right, and then, so that's my one new start, and then my last new start and the final piece of stitching I have to show for today. So the day after my mother-in-law's funeral, if you follow me on Instagram, you've already heard the story, you've already seen it because I shared it there. But the day after my mother-in-law's funeral, I went back to work. I was trying to work. It was largely just a warm body day. I was really kind of just not present. My mind was very distracted. And I just felt very called to stitch something in memory of my mother-in-law. So I spent probably more time than I should have been kind of looking around on the internet, looking for things, kind of thought of some of the things you typically see as a memorial sampler, but they didn't really speak to me as being like representative of my mother-in-law. And then I just happened to stumble upon, I don't even know how I came across it, but I happened to stumble upon Italian Pincushion by Modern Folk Embroidery. And the model is, as you can see, stitched in a deep blue. Blue was my mother-in-law's favorite color. In fact, it was actually really touching at her calling hours, the number of people wearing blue for her, myself included, and the number of flower arrangements. First off, just the sheer number of flower arrangements. The woman clearly was very loved, and that was wonderful to see. But the number of flower arrangements that had blue flowers in them, or blue touches, blue ribbons, things like that. It was just really touching. So I happened to stumble across this pattern, and it happened to be in Italian. She immigrated from Italy when she was a teenager. So I was like, this is perfect. The saying, I'm going to change the saying, because the saying basically is the Italian equivalent of home sweet home. But I think I'm going to change it to, in Italian, like always in our hearts, or something a little more fitting for memorial. And I'm going to replace the 3 hearts with her initials and the years of her birth and death. At least that's the plan right now. So I started this on July 21st, which I realized the next day was actually her half birthday. She was born on January 21st of 1951. So I was like, oh, I wonder if that was one of the reasons why I was feeling, I didn't realize it at the time. I'm still actively working on it, so it is also still in its soup. But this is the progress that I have made so far. So I started in the lower left corner and have been working on this vine with its berries. I am using DMC 336 for this. And I'm toying with the idea of using a slightly lighter blue or slightly different shade of blue, probably lighter for the words and her initials and dates, but I haven't decided yet. That'll probably be a game time decision once I get to that point, those will be the last things that I do because they require effort and recharting. But this is where I got to. The nice thing about this is my whole family had played a piece. So again, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw this. I chose the pattern. My son chose the fabric, and my daughter chose the floss. So all 3 of us my children have 0 interest in learning how to stitch or in stitching, but all 3 of us have had a piece in this piece. So that's kind of nice too. I am stitching this on a 32 count Lugana in the colorway Morning Fog by Bestitch Me. And as I already mentioned, DMC 336, 2 strands over 2. All right, that is all of my stitching for today. I do have some acquisitions. I have a giveaway, and I was going to share my plans with you. So I actually have quite a bit in terms of acquisitions. So if you, again, are a regular viewer of my channel, you may recall that a few videos ago I mentioned that kind of in the early spring, I don't know, oops, I put my pattern back in the bag. I don't know what I was thinking. I lost my mind and I kind of purchased a whole bunch of stuff. I have to slow it down because I'm not made of money. But some of those things, most of them were boxes, like mystery boxes or other sorts of boxes. And some of those things are starting to come in. So the first one, I'm just showing the box because I'm not allowed to open it yet. I am participating in the Halloween Friend Stitch that is hosted by Heart and Hand Design and Bed Creek. And I got my box for it. We're not allowed, as you can see, no peeking until August 5th, which is so next weekend, which is the date of the Friend Stitch. But like, I'm very excited. It's a little hefty box. And it's not super heavy, but it's a good, 2 or 3 pounds. It feels like there's some fun stuff in there. So I'm very excited. So obviously I will be able to share with you in my next video what is in there. And then I also got what's going to be my final box of the Keeper Club from Tiger Lily Design. I love her pattern keepers, but the club is expensive. It's only quarterly, but with everything else, I'm trying to be more reasonable. Plus, I don't necessarily use bobbins all the time, but and if you're interested, if you like her project keepers, and you can, let me back up. If you are unfamiliar with Tiger Lily Designs, first off, she's hilarious. I love watching her channel. She makes beautiful project keepers in 2 different styles. Sorry, I should have taken it out of the paper first. Again, apologies if you're wearing headphones and this is disruptive to you. She makes these beautiful project keepers, so I'll show that first. So her Keeper Club, you choose the kind of keeper that you want. She has keepers with bobbin holders on the one side. So here you go. So you can put your little thread bobbins in there, or she makes keepers that are just this pocket on both sides. So if you're more a floss drop kind of person, you can do that. So this is now my second one. And like I said, just for financial reasons, I had to cancel my club membership, but, I mean, aren't they beautiful? And this box, the theme was women who inspired Tiger Lily. And she included these photos of her mom, her grandmother, her grandmothers, and a great grandmother, and sort of all the sorts of different artwork and textile work that they did. And it's just really cool. And so this gorgeous keeper, let's see, does it say what kind of fabric? Cafe Facet. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But then we got this set of note cards. This I love because these note cards, there are 4 different kinds, and each of them is a piece of artwork from a member of her family. So her mother, her grandmothers, her great-grandmother. And the other cool thing about her boxes is she sources, there's almost always a little food treat in them from a local small business to where she lives in Virginia. These are actually not from Virginia, though. I shouldn't say they're always from Virginia, but this is actually from the Pacific Northwest, Marysville, Washington. But it's a woman-owned small business that makes little bakery baked goods. So these are blueberry lemon biscotti that I have said every morning for since I got the box that I'm going to have with my coffee, and I keep forgetting. So lucky for you, that means you get to see them. I'm going to have them with my coffee later. And then gorgeous flosses from Forbidden Fiber Co. Aren't they beautiful? Can't wait to find the right project to use those in. Sorry, there's so much crinkling. A Throw Kindness Around Like Confetti pen. That is from Taylor Elliott Designs. A wonderful mom turned side hustle small business is what this is, or from her business. There is some thread conditioner, some thread keep bling, and the watercolor in there is from her mom. She always throws in a little packet of stash tea, and I think that's everything. Yeah. So that was my Keeper Project box from, or Keeper Club from Tiger Lily Designs. And in terms of other acquisitions, I did get some patterns I mentioned when I was sort of trying to think of or find a project to do in memory of my mother-in-law. I did go on 1-2-3 Stitch and searched around. I also thought maybe I would stitch something for my sister-in-law for Christmas as a memorial piece. So, but then when they came in, I started to second guess myself. I don't know, but everyone has seen this, I think, right? When Life is Done by Silver Creek Samplers. I purchased this thinking maybe I would stitch that. But I don't think I will. If I stitch anything for my sister-in-law, it will probably be this, which my daughter thought was very morbid. She was like, oh my God, that's so morbid. I was like, why? She was like, remember me. I don't know. I think she was like, in her head was reading it in like Marley's ghost voice or something. I don't know. But the roses are a dark blue. Again, that's part of what drew me to it. The Remember Me and the blue roses. So I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with these. I might stitch one for my sister-in-law. I might not. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm second guessing myself, but I didn't start second guessing myself till after I had ordered the patterns. actually till after they'd arrived. And then just because I saw it, this obviously has nothing to do with the memorial of my mother-in-law, but it's just super cute. And we are indeed cat lovers in this house. So I picked that up as well. And then the last thing, y'all, why did I not prep better today? Everything's still wrapped in plastic, so I apologize if it's really noisy. So Kim at Needle Attractions on Facebook, where I get most of my needle minders from, was having a big sale. She got busy making needle minders, y'all, and there were so many cute ones, and I ordered far too many. I mean, my little cookie sheet that I keep my needle minders on is already basically full, and I ordered an embarrassing number of new needle minders in her most recent sale. But they're so cute. So I will, as soon as I get them unwrapped, again, I apologize for all the crinkling, I will share them with you. Okay, so here we go. Emotionally attached to fictional characters. Very true. My daughter actually has this as a sticker on her laptop. And I almost had her order me a sticker too. This, Kim typically throws in a little freebie. I didn't order this one, but it's a little pink M&M. Super cute. I don't sing in the car. I perform. Very true. Crafting is my therapy and attempted murder. This one makes me laugh every time. I don't know. I mean, it's clever. It's funny. I don't think it's as funny as I think it is, but like I literally like in my head, I'm laughing out loud about this because I don't know. It just tickles me. So I got that one. And then I got these cute little, look at this little hedgehog with his little flowers. So cute. And then this little dragon. If you've watched my channel before, you know I love dragons. And actually this dragon reminded me, again, if you are a returning viewer, you have seen in the past, I haven't worked on it recently, my spring dragon pattern by Ingleside Imaginarium. This dragon reminds me of that one. So I might swap out whatever needle minder is in that project and put this one in there. So I got those two. And just 3 more. Save the Planet, Cats Live Here. This, again, this is one that just makes me, it's a dragon, it's a cat, it's a cat dragon. I don't know what it is, but it's dorky and cute and I love it. And then I have seen this as a cross stitch pattern, this Zelda stained glass. It is gorgeous. It is stunning. I would never stitch it because I want to stab my eyes out. But a needle minder, yes, please. I'll take it. I love Zelda. I've played Zelda since I was a little kid. I have not started playing the new game yet because I told myself I couldn't spend that money until I finished Breath of the Wild. I took a long break from video games. I didn't really get back to them until maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So I was very late to Breath of the Wild. So anyway, love Zelda. So those are my needle minders. And I think that's everything in terms of acquisitions. So let's move into, I told you this video is going to be a little bit longer than usual. So let me go ahead and go into my giveaway and then I'll talk about plans and then we'll be done. So I do have one small giveaway. Well, actually it's not that small. I do have a giveaway today. So again, if you watched my, I think it was my StitchCon recap video. Maybe I talked about it in my regular floss tube as well, but I was blessed and very lucky to win a door prize at StitchCon this year. And the door prize I won was a gift bag from Just Cross Stitch magazine. And that was just chock full of all kinds of goodies and wonderful things. Many of them are my style, my taste, things that I will use, but many of them also were not. So I actually have kind of pulled together a bag of things that I'm going to share with all of you kind of little by little over the course of the video. So the first thing that I want to share, if you get Just Cross Stitch magazine, then you have seen this already. They have been running, it started in the February issue, a year-long Christmas stitch along. And one of the things in my prize pack was a full kit for this stitch along, including the magazines that had been released to that point. And it is for this full stitch along. So this is what the finished project will look like. Again, I apologize, my lighting is not so great today. It's super cute. It's just not my style. And so I know that I won't stitch it, but it comes with absolutely everything. All of the, I think it's Sullivan's floss. Yeah, all of the Sullivan's floss. The fabric, I think it's just a, it looks like a 28 count or 32 count even weave. It's a 28 count. It's just a 28 count white, I would guess probably a Monaco even weave. And all of the Sullivan's flosses. So if you are interested in this, please, you know all the giveaway rules. If you are a regular floss tube watcher, be over 18, be a subscriber, please. I would like to be able to reward my subscribers as opposed to people who are just stopping by for a visit. I'd love to have you here, but if you would like to win and you're not a subscriber, please just click that subscribe button. I'd love to see you back here again. I know that my library through their Libby app carries Just Cross Stitch magazine. So you can get the pattern from there if you do not have access to Libby or do not subscribe to Just Cross Stitch already. Like I said, I do have the magazines. So if you end up winning this and you need the patterns, let me know and we will figure out a way for me to get those to you. I'll send you the magazines themselves, or we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in some way. So if you are interested in winning this full kit for the Christmas Wonder Cross Stitch, please comment below using the word wonderful, because it says it's the most wonderful time of the year at the top. So use the code word wonderful in your comment and I will draw the winner before the next video. Do note, like I said, I have the first 4 parts and then the last 2 parts are coming out in the October and December issues. So again, if you're the winner and you don't subscribe to Just Cross Stitch magazine and can't get access through Libby or other means, we'll work it out. All right, so comment with the word wonderful and someone will win this in my next video. Which again, if you're new, I typically film every 2 weeks. So you will have until roughly August 10th of 2023 to comment and be eligible to win. All right, I told you this video was going to be a little bit longer. Last thing today, just to talk about my plans. So I already mentioned I'm going to be working on the next square for my Magic Kingdom stitch along. I also am going to continue to work on the whip down Sal. I have a list of now 11 projects to finish by the end of the year that are part of my goal. I say now 11 because I have the pre-stitch for the pep rally. And I have finished 1 so far, my Grow Through What You Go Through pattern by Stitchrovia. So I'm going to try and knock out at least 1 more of my whip down challenge or whip down Sal projects in August, finish Princess and the Frog in August, and then obviously my August whip go calls. As usual, I didn't write down the number. Hold on, I do have it here though in my Notion app. So August's numbers were 18 and 24. I was excited about one, less excited about the other, and here is why. So obviously in August, my goal will be to meet, another goal of mine will be, another plan, I don't know why I can't talk anymore, another plan will be to meet my whip go goals. So number 24 for me is my friendship basket by Hello from Liz Matthews. You have not seen this in ages. This was a free pattern that she released prior to StitchCon in 2022. And the idea was, I can show the pattern since it's a freebie, that I would stitch the basket, the year, and the bottom border and up a certain point up the side. And then going to the retreat, and 2022 was my very first StitchCon year, which is why I started this, because I thought, oh, it would be fun to get people that I meet there to stitch something on this basket. So then you basically pass around and someone stitches, they can stitch one of these little motifs, they can stitch something of their own, stitch a little motif in my basket. So I did that and took it to StitchCon in 2022, which again was my very first year at StitchCon. Now, the funny thing was, I'm going to have to pull some stitches out, I think, because I went with a group of people from my cross stitch chat server. And so I really ended up spending most of the time getting to know them. I had only ever talked to them online. I'd never met them in person. And I really kind of only went around and talked to a few other people that I felt I got to know well enough to ask them to stitch on my project. So here is the project itself. So as you can see, it's not sad because all of these people are special to me in one way or another. But like, I clearly was very ambitious when I started stitching that I'm like, oh, I'm going to get so many people to fill my basket because I stitched so high up this one side. So I'm going to have to take it down some a little bit. But I do have a piece of paper where I wrote down who stitched what. So when I frame this, I'm going to put that on the back so I can always remember who stitched what for me in my little basket. But my whip go goal is I want to do something, right? So every year StitchCon releases a free pattern that that is the StitchCon logo with the year. Now, the problem is it's wider than this is. So I have to figure out if I can maybe stitch it over one or if that will make it like way too small. Or if I just need to maybe chart StitchCon 2022 just kind of in my own font. So my whip go goal is to do that, like chart the words, stitch them, finish this, which the finishing itself won't take that long, right? This border stitches pretty quickly. I'm just going to have to rip out some of this to do the top and then StitchCon 2022, or at least StitchCon. I'll probably do the 2022 down here as Liz Matthews charted it. So I'm excited to finally have this done because I have now attended a second StitchCon, which I almost brought this again, but then I decided I didn't want to confuse 2022 and 2023. I wanted to sort of keep this my very first StitchCon project. So really it's kind of ridiculous that it isn't done yet. So on the one hand, I'm glad that it was called, but on the other hand, I've been procrastinating doing this. Oh my gosh, my floss is such a mess. I am stitching this with an unnamed, I don't know what it is. It's a Threadwork silk that I got in the mail. So the border is this gorgeous Threadwork silk that actually was gifted to me by someone in my cross stitch chat server. So I'll be finishing up the border with that floss. And, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It's not a Threadworks. It is a Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers silk in the color Spooktacular. So that is whip go goal number one. I maybe should spend some time this afternoon working on it. But it'll be wonderful. It will feel so good to finally have it done. But like sitting down and having to chart and figure it out, like I'm not excited about it. But it'll get done. And then my number 18 call for me was the Needleworker by Cottage Garden Samplings. This was the first in their Snowman series. I'm not doing the whole series. I've just purchased, I think only one other, the Scarecrow, I think. I'm just purchasing the ones that I think, look at the little bunny. So I started this as part of my New Year's Eve 12 by 12, and I haven't touched it since then. So my start on it is just an hour's worth of stitching. It's a sad, puny little start. Not even, it goes this way. I was like, I'm not even sure which way it goes. Oh my gosh. I started in the bottom left corner. So this is the bottom of his cloak, like the edge of his cloak. And then I started stitching the red that is the bottom of his cloak here. So this and then started here. So this is what I got done on New Year's Eve. I am stitching this. Why would I write it down? Because that would be too simple. I am stitching this. I'm stitching it with all the called for flosses. I don't know what this fabric is. I didn't write it down. It is one of my Bestitch Me fabrics. I do know that. It's a 32 count Lugana. I can tell that by looking at it, but I don't know the colorway. So I will have to figure that out so that I can share it in my next video. But this is my goal for this in August is to stitch, I think 7 days. 6 days for some reason, whatever. So certainly attainable goal. Here are all the flosses. So I will be working on this in August as well. So you will see this pattern in my next regular floss tube. All right, friends, usually my videos are 20 to 30 minutes in length. I'm at 45 almost right now. So thank you for sticking with me. Again, if you would like that kit for the Just Cross Stitch Christmas Stitch Along, comment with wonderful below. Let me know what you think I should do in terms of fully finishing this project. If I should paint the wood, stain it, what do you think? And as always, any questions you have for me or just what you're working on, I love my little corner of the internet and the little community that we have here. So thank you for spending your time with me this morning, and I will see you on Instagram. I am at the 20-minute Stitcher there on Instagram as well, if you would like to follow me. I don't post every day. I often forget to take pictures, but I do try to post with some regularity updates in between my videos. But my floss tube is definitely the best way to keep up with what I am stitching. I do not monetize my channel. If you would like to support me in any way, please subscribe, please like, ring that bell to get notifications. But I do also have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the down bar that I use any money that is donated to me through that to help pay for shipping and things like that on my giveaways and my little, like the rewards for the Whip Down Sal, meeting your goal there, the little trinkets that I'll hand make and send out for that. I use my own money for that, but if you'd like to help support that, you can use the Buy Me a Coffee link down below. But most importantly, comment, watch, share. It's all about the community for me here. So I do this because I love it, and I love the little community that we are all a part of on FlossTube. So thank you so much again for spending your time with me. I will sign off as I always do. Hug your loved ones, take care of yourself, happy stitching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.